8 months of energy-sapping endeavour, and still the Men's World Triathlon Championship Series was on a knife edge ahead of the grand final in Pontevedra, northwest Spain. Fewer than 60 points separated series leader Alex Yee of Great Britain from New Zealand's Hayden Wilde. But if both faltered, the likes of Vasco Villaça and reigning world champion Leo Berger were ready to pounce. Matt Hauser was the early leader in the water after the first lap. At this point, both Wilde and Yee were a worrying 24 seconds back. Schomburg and Lecour also going well on the 1500-metre swim. And when they came out, Yee and Wilde were 45 seconds back. The two men who'd missed out when favourites 12 months ago in the grand final, hoping that history wasn't about to repeat itself. All a question of how many men would get away on the bike. And in the end, there were 24 of them at the front, but Hayden Wilde wasn't amongst them. He was in the chase group. Alex Yee was even further back and not making any impression on the leaders. Wilde continually frustrated. He wasn't getting any help from his group and was losing time to the leaders. The same was true of Yee in a smaller group in behind. And as they prepared to come off the bike after 40 kilometres in the saddle, it was the Frenchmen, Berger, Lecour and Koenigs, along with Vasco Villaça of Portugal, who now look to be favourites to win the title. One of those men, Yee more than 2 minutes further back, Wilde almost a minute behind. An astonishing climax to the season. Wilde had to take a 15-second penalty for this incident when he dropped his swim cap and didn't go back to pick it up. Nonetheless, he was making up ground on the run, but surely had too much to do. Morgan Pearson of the USA was the early leader. This launch took going well, but Villaça was starting to flag, and that opened the door for the Frenchmen, Koenigs and Berger. Berger trying to retain the title, but he just couldn't go the pace on the sprint finish, and it was Koenigs who hit the tape first from Helvig, then Lecour, and that victory for Dorian Koenigs enough to mean the 29-year-old would become world champion. Berger, a really spirited defence. Wilde, disappointed. Despite a brilliant run, he finished 9th in the race, but only 2nd overall. Alex Yee trailing in 29th, and he would not make the overall podium. Confirmation of the race result. Koenigs the winner, 1:42 and change. Matt Hauser of Australia qualifies for the Olympic Games. And on the podium, it was Lecour, Helvig and a very happy Dorian Koenigs who would take the plaudits. So checking the overall series rankings, confirmation Koenigs is the new world champion from Wilde and Berger. Yee only 5th.
I thought it was impossible. I just wanted to focus on my race and do a good race to end up a nice season, you know. But it's way better than expected.
Well, contrasting emotions on the podium for the overall series. Berger, 3rd after his win last year. Hayden Wilde with a sense of disappointment, especially after that penalty. But what a performance from Dorian Koenigs. We've only seen him in the latter half of the season. The perfect preparation ahead of the close season and Olympic year.